TAO will explode. Let's talk about its potential, guys. So, looking at TAO, at the time of recording, it's currently sitting at around about the $338 mark with a relatively modest market cap of 3.3 billion. So, by no means, guys, is this a massive coin by market cap. Again, it's ranked 35, so it is up there, but it's not massive compared to a lot of the large cap coins that we have. And at the same time, it's not a small coin as well. It indicates to me it's got a lot of potential to grow, sitting at around about the 3.3 billion mark. Something that stands out with TAO is the fact that its max supply is 21 million, and that is exactly the same as what we've seen with Bitcoin. And I know you can't really compare Bitcoin and TAO, but when a lot of people are talking about Bitcoin and its value, a lot of that is linked to its scarcity and the fact that, they call it digital gold, and how gold, is a finite resource. There's only a certain amount of gold out there, and eventually it will run out, right? With Bitcoin, there's only ever going to be 21 million, and it is therefore the online equivalent of that. So it's quite interesting when we look at the tokenomics, the fact that they are very, very similar in that regard. It shows that demand and supply is something that needs to be taken into consideration. Next thing, guys, you might be asking, well, what is TAO and why can it perform? But before we jump into that, just need to quickly mention, quick disclaimer here, guys, please read this with care. This video is not financial advice. Crypto is volatile and highly risky. No results are guaranteed. This content is for experienced users only, and there's a full legal disclaimer in the description below. So, TAO, essentially, guys, it's the cryptocurrency of Bitensor, a decentralized network for AI, and it rewards people who provide useful AI models for computing power, and it's also used to pay for AI services on the network. In simple terms, it's a fuel for an open marketplace where anyone can build, share, and benefit from AI. It's also the largest AI coin by market cap, and that's something that I'm going to discuss, how that's a completely new narrative and how that's going to be beneficial for TAO, as well as the fact that it has an added bonus of being able to earn TAO for those who provide AI power and validators who check quality and boost participation in the network. So for me, quite an interesting narrative that this coin has, quite a lot of different fundamentals, I suppose, compared to a few other coins out there. And it's certainly an AI coin that's doing AI stuff, because I know there's quite a lot of coins out there that have AI in the name but don't actually do anything towards AI. So I've got here a green tick. I think this is really, really positive. Next thing, we've seen that the fact that there's been some very interesting recent developments. So we've seen that BitGo's launched institutional TAO staking with UA Validator, and you might be like, well, what does that even mean? Well, let me try and break that down in the best way I can. Actually, this will help to increase the demand for TAO, because in order to stake TAO, you need to buy it and lock it up. And with institutions coming in, it will create more buying pressure. These companies want to be able to offer TAO as part of their service, and they want their customers to win. They want you as the investor who's staking to make money because they believe in the long-term value of the coin, right? They wouldn't be offering a service for a coin if they didn't think that it would actually be able to perform well over the long period of time, right? Or they would get a bad reputation if this coin was to pump and dump on people. When we couple that with reduced supply on the market, as well as the stake TAO is locked away, it means that fewer tokens are available to be sold. Again, it goes back to demand and supply factor. Less supply combined with steady growth and demand should increase the price. Again, no guarantees here, guys, but I just thought it was quite an interesting thing to cover. Next thing, I want to mention this. Grayscale's AI fund with 30% TAO. So we can see that it is one of the biggest ones, if not the biggest holding for the fund here for Grayscale. And this is absolutely massive, guys. It's a very similar point to the previous one, but institutional investors can now access TAO through the AI fund. So it's giving the everyday people more exposure to these AI coins in a kind of safer way. And this offers a regulated and secure exposure to the asset. And the benefits is that it gives them a stamp of approval, right? Because Grayscale are not going to be having funds which they didn't think were safe for the investors, or at least incredibly risky, right? I mean, there's no guarantees that anyone will make money from it, but they're doing this to be able to offer this service. The next thing is long-term prospects, because obviously they believe that these coins can perform well when added together into a fund, and the fact that there will be stability in the market because they're going to be buying up these coins. There's less likely that these coins are going to be able to crash as hard as they did previously, right? For me, another really, really positive thing. Next thing, we've seen Bitensor integrates OpenAI compatible models for decentralized GPT agents on the subnetwork 17. So that is a lot of jargon, and I'll try and break that down in the best way, guys. Adding OpenAI style models, which are like GPT agents, means that developers can now run and deploy GPT-like AI directly on the Bitensor network. And this makes it more attractive for builders who want this GPT-style functionality, as well as companies And this, in essence, should help to increase demand for the token because it means that people are more easily going to be able to use the network. It's going to be more user friendly, and it's just a load of positive things, really. It's going to be speeding up people's time, and it's going to help a lot of people out who actually want to do a few things on the network. Next thing, guys, as I mentioned before, Bitenter is the number one AI token on here, and this is an added advantage because when you talk about new investors that come into crypto, a lot of times people are like, okay, what's the number one coin? Bitcoin. Okay, well, that went from, whatever dollar to $100,000. And then they go down the list and say Ethereum. Okay, well, that went from zero to $3,000. And then they slowly work their way right down the list. And this is actually how a lot of people think when they just get into it, because when they see a coin which is like worth 5 cents, they're like, wow, what if it could perform in the same way that Bitcoin did, right? I'd be a multimillionaire. So this is an added benefit for Bitenter. When people can look at AI, they know it's a growing narrative, they know it's actually growing in real life, in use case, we all know that. So for me, when I see this at the top and people want to get into it, I think that this massively helps Bitenter. So for me, very, very positive. Next thing you might be thinking, well, that's cool, Tookie, but realistically, where can Bitenter go? Like, I don't really care about any of the other jargon you've been talking about before, and I'll say, yeah, that's completely fair. And I mentioned we've already seen TAO hit 5.2 billion market cap. I've got 662 million there, but that's incorrect. With a price of $714. And we need to compare this to a large cap coin. So I've picked Cardano in this example, and we've seen that Cardano has hit $93 billion market cap back in 2021, which is absolutely crazy. When we look at this and we crunch some of the numbers, if TAO can reach around about a third of what Cardano did last run, that would be roughly a 10x from where it currently is at the moment. And just a quick reminder here that TAO launched initially in 2021, and it's got this ability to move because it's a newer coin compared to a lot of the other coins that have been around for a long time. So it's less established in the space, it's newer, and it has more of a somewhat positive volatility. It's got scarce tokenomics, it's got AI narrative combined with it being a growing space, largest coin in the AI space, institutional adoption, multiple strong partnerships, and this is just scratching the surface, right? I'm just showing you some of the things that have happened quite recently. I would just say with caution, guys, please don't wait for a $3,000 TAO, although it is theoretically possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen, and there's no guarantees that it will happen, but it's very important to take profits on the way up, guys, and to scale out in 20% chunks. Like I mentioned, the most important thing is to get this right, have your numbers written down, and be very prepared for what you believe the price could go to. But hopefully this has provided you with some value, and thank you very much for watching.